Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel for my very first speed build video. So today we'll be building a simple 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for the Pinecrest Apartments unit number 404 in Evergreen Harbor, which is the world that comes with Eco Lifestyle. So I actually just got Eco Lifestyle maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, and very quickly this apartment unit has become one of my favorites of all time in The Sims 4. I think what really makes this apartment just like so good to me is the fact that like the window placement for one is very good. It's not incredible, but compared to some other apartments, it's definitely like not the worst window placement ever. And the wall height is small, which like if you recall the city living like apartments that come in that world, they're all like medium or tall wall height, which makes it so hard for me to build in. I don't know if it's just me or if this is like a universal struggle, but I always have such a hard time making like medium and tall wall heights look anywhere near decent. And I think it's just because like if you look to the left of the screen right now, there's like the stereotypical sort of like bedroom and bathroom door that you have and like a sort of like more like traditional type home, I guess. You know, like it's like a wooden door that's like a relatively like on like a short wall, it looks like a decent height, but like if you put that kind of like stereotypical like bedroom door on a medium or tall wall height, it just is so tiny. And then if you look at like the like wall art that you want to put on the wall, if you want it to like match the wall height, I guess, you have to put it like relatively high up, but then it just like towers over all of these doors and it looks so silly, and I can't make it look good. Eco Lifestyle has basically been like a building godsend, I guess, if you could put it that way, just because, you know, when I build in like the city living world, which I think is called San Maestrino, but God, I play there all the time, like literally all the time. I love getting apartments for my Sims, and like I love the apartment gameplay and all that stuff, but I'm just so bad at remembering like the names of worlds for some reason. But anytime I go to San Maestrino to build, it's just like, again, the apartments are so just tall there, and so being able to come to Evergreen Harbor and finding like a decent apartment with decent windows has just been like absolutely incredible, because I'm able to like practice building in apartments and like figuring out layouts and how to decorate and all that stuff. And what I really like about apartments actually is like just you don't have to worry about anything but decorating, which is one of my favorite parts of building in The Sims 4. I love doing sort of like renovations and stuff of like different like Sims builds that other people do. That way I don't have to like deal with like the outside and the window placement and like the layout, because I'm really not good at that kind of stuff, but I really love interior decorating. And so apartments are super duper great for that, because you have sort of like, it can be a downfall sometimes, but because of the window placement in most of the apartments, you have a very constricted sort of like layout that you can do. Like for example in this one, like you kind of have to put the bedrooms in like those like top two sort of like bump outs at the top, right? Because it's like the only places with decent windows, and you want decent windows in bedrooms, and so you have to kind of put your bedrooms there. And then because you want like a blank wall and you don't want windows behind your kitchen, just because then like it messes with like the cabinets and like the counters peek through the glass and it's this whole mess. And so you usually want it on like a blank wall. You have to kind of put it in like that bottom right hand corner in this apartment, and then that really only leaves like the, you know, like the one spot for the living room, and you can kind of like move around the bathroom a little bit, I guess, but like basically it creates like a very constricted floor plan. And so it's so just mindless for me, and I love it because I can just come in and then plop down a couple of walls in places that I know that they're gonna fit, and I can just decorate, and I adore it. But anyway, interior decorating and weird wall heights in The Sims aside, we're just moving on to the living room now. So we finished the bathroom and the kitchen already, and I did decide to restrict packs for this build just because I find it's a lot easier for people to download that way, when, you know, like you don't have like a single thing from every single pack in The Sims, because I think there's just so many of them at this point. Like I don't have all of them, and so I understand the struggle of like, you know, going onto the gallery and trying to find something that like fits and that will look good with the packs that you do have. And so I've decided to restrict this one to just eco lifestyle, tiny living, and the laundry day stuff. So that's all that you need in order to download this. Very simple. And literally, like, it was so silly because I look at this like layout and I'm like, oh, I need to have laundry in here. Like for some reason I just looked at the bathroom and I saw that little like tower where I could put like the laundry stuff like stacked up, and then I needed to have like that weird little like corner counter. It was very strange, but anyway, like basically this entire apartment is just based off like that one little corner, because I wanted to have like the laundry tower and then the corner and then the sink. I ended up having to cut out like 5 minutes of me just like looking at curtains, because There's something about the base game curtains that just really don't like fit in most of the spaces that I try to create, I guess. So like I always end up sticking with like this one curtain half the time. And there's also like that one where you have like the two options for like either sort of like right and left sides where you have it looks kind of like this one, but you have like, you know, like the sheer curtain and then the like more like dark curtain on top of it, and then you have it like bunched to the side for one option, and then they're just loose for the other one. And it's like a very like kidsy room type one, but I end up going for that one quite a bit, honestly, specifically in like the green and blue swatch all the time for living rooms, just because like green and blue living rooms are kind of my vibe, as you can probably tell by the like very blue themed sort of like living space that I have in this apartment. But I always end up going for that one. But I guess like for this sort of like space, it really didn't fit quite that well, so I just ended up going with like the very plain beigey one. And I think we're just gonna like ignore the fact that I literally moved the door over a little bit in the hallway to create this little like table space because I thought it would be cute. So just pretend that you didn't see that. It did not happen. Now, this little wall beside the door gave me so much trouble this entire time. You'll see me go through like a couple of different sort of like options for how to fill in this blank space on the wall, because like for some reason I think having the fridge next to the door just filled up the space so much, and then it seems so empty on like the other side. So I ended up sort of like trying a couple of different ways to fill it up, and I ended up settling on like those two, like the apple and the orange painting, which I just realized today I use those all the time, but I tried to get like a different swatch for them to kind of like, you know, change things up in my gameplay. But it turns out that like only two of the swatches match. Like it's super duper weird, but I really wanted like a bit of like a lighter blue, I think it was, and it has it like the perfect light blue on the apple swatch, which is like the one like on top of like the two paintings. But for some reason the orange one just doesn't have a matching swatch, and it's so silly. Like I think like they have the same like paint color, but they don't have the same wood tone, which is just like, I mean, classic Sims 4, right? Like nothing matches. Like just I'm gonna go back to The Sims 3 just to use like the create a style whatever and just make everything match. Like that was definitely my jive when I played The Sims 3, which was actually my first Sims like game, was The Sims 3. And so like I started off very, very strong with The Sims. Like, you know, like I got like the best game with like the best gameplay and the best like create a style tool. And then I came to The Sims 4 when it was released, and that was a shock. But like it bothers me so much how like in The Sims 4 you just nothing matches. Nothing will ever match, and it's so sad. So as you can see here, I'm just finishing up in like the children's bedroom in this apartment, and I'm moving on to what is intended to be the parents' bedroom now, which is the bigger bedroom of the two. And it just, you'll see her in a minute, but it gave me so much trouble. I really, really wanted to use like this cute like leafy wallpaper with like the border on the bottom, because I thought it was just like really, really cute for my first like speed build in Evergreen Harbor. But oh my goodness, it gave me so much trouble. Like the color scheme that I was trying to go for, like I tried to find something that would match like any one of these like the leafy green wallpaper, and it just like it wasn't giving me what I wanted, because I really wanted to use like, if it was going to be like a eco lifestyle build, I wanted to use like the eco lifestyle bed. But yeah, it was giving me such a, like a hard time. And then the rugs also gave me a really hard time, because I find like rugs can be very difficult to use in The Sims, or it's hard to find like a good rug that really matches what you're going for. So this just this bedroom was so difficult for me. I definitely think that like decorating in general in The Sims can be a little bit difficult sometimes, just because I don't know if it's just me, but I keep on going back to like the exact same sort of like set of items in for basically like, you know, like in the living room I'll use the same sort of like couple of couches, and then in like the kitchens I'll use the same sort of like cabinets every time. And I feel like there's a really big lack of like good build items, I guess, in The Sims. Like we have a ton, but a lot of them like they'll be like cool and funky, but like cool and funky in a way where like you can only use them in like very sort of like restricted settings, or like restricted sort of like themes or styles, I guess. And so for just like very basic bedrooms or very basic like, you know, like living spaces, I find that it's really difficult to find like a setup of like, or like a match of like furniture or something that like actually works and like looks good, just because we really are like so limited in like what we have to build with. But anyway, guys, we're basically done with the apartment now, so I'm gonna hop in game and give you a quick little tour of the apartment. Alright everybody, so here's a quick look at the apartment in game. I'm actually going to bulldoze the lot and show you guys how to download the apartment really quick, just because not everyone is aware of how to do that. So if you start with an empty lot just like this by bulldozing it, you can go on ahead and go into the gallery and then find my page, which just is casually underscore cabbage. And then you can go over to my catalog and find the apartment that is built and then place the room. Then you just line it up and plop it in. And then as you'll see over here, we actually have the walls behind the doors missing because you have to do that to get it to be considered as a room for the gallery. So all you have to do is go on ahead and just plop all of the walls back in and then just repaint them in order to get the apartment done as I intended. Alright, so here's a quick look at the apartment. So you enter by the front door over here, and then you have a kitchen over to your right with 2 bar stools. There wasn't exactly the room for a dining table in such a small apartment, so we just have to eat at the bar stools. And then over to the left, there is the living room with a balcony that sadly doesn't work. And then you have a hallway over here, and then to the first door on the left, you have the children's bedroom. And then if you go straight ahead, there's the parents' bedroom. And then over here through the kitchen and this little door over here, you have the bathroom with laundry. Oh. Okay. It seems like that's broken, but it should be fixed at some point. So if you do download the apartment and this bugs you, you can just go on ahead and just sell it really quick, and then probably put something on this corner counter just because it's so close to the kitchen. Sims might grab something out of the fridge and then come over here to cook, which isn't exactly ideal, but hopefully that gets fixed pretty soon. Alright everybody, that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for joining me for my very first speed build, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye!